If you're not willing to do the little things, how can you ever expect to achieve the big things? Good morning, folks, and happy Monday. So, since we didn't have the ability to make it to practice today and we needed to go drop off our car parts this morning, we did not set an alarm. So you know what that means? We're getting started extremely freaking late today. Which is no big deal, but by the time I got up, got some breakfast in me, and started to walk out the door, JB's like, hey, I'm almost home. I'm like, great. She's like, you still want to go get lunch? I'm like, I would love to. But, I just got out of bed. I just got breakfast cooked. And, oh, dang, that means the garage has been open. I hope there's nothing in here. Goodness gracious. But I still need to go drop these car parts off. I still need to go knock out a run. I just ate breakfast, so could I have like, an hour? She's like, you know what? Go knock out the run. I'll be there in like 20 minutes. So go knock out your run. I'll drop off the car parts and then we can meet up from there. So I guess we're going to go knock out a run. We're going to leave our car parts to JB. And we're going to go get in better shape today than we were yesterday, folks. It is a nice, cool day out, so this should be a nice, fun run. Guess let's get the Mustang cranked up and get our butts out of here, because this is the only thing we got to drive today. Good news, she cranked up like a charm, like she always does. But I ran her just about slap empty the last time we drove her. So let's go put some fuel in her and then make our way to this run to go get in better shape today than we were yesterday, folks. Alrighty, old blue, fueled up. Let's go knock out this run. Alrighty, folks, we have made it to the park to knock out this run to get in better shape today than we were yesterday. Now let's see if we can just get it done in enough time to meet up with JB for some lunch. We're racing time here, baby. We're racing a freaking time. Run complete, and it went phenomenal. Well, except for rolling our ankles halfway freaking through. That sucked. And we still had to keep going. We didn't let a little ankle roll stop us from getting in better shape today than we were yesterday. Whew. Well, us getting started late kind of prevented us from being able to knock out as long of a run as we wanted to. We wanted to be able to knock out a 10-miler today because we haven't done one in a fat minute. But we got a 6-miler in, a good 6-miler. Plus I rolled my ankle, so it took some mental perseverance, some mental dedication, some mental fortitude. You know what I mean, folks? So I would say that was a successful run. I would say we got into better shape today than we were yesterday. We got at least 6 miles in. I don't really know how much we really did. We got about a little bit over 45 minutes. We got started at 12:02, I believe. We got done at 12:53 is what I think the clock said. So not a bad run. Not a bad run. Definitely considering we rolled our ankle. That freaking sucked. Not how bad that joker hurt. It sucked. Really bad. And like, we didn't even break stride. I did it. I go, that hurt. As I'm continuing to finish off the strides. So I'd say we got about a little bit under or a little bit over 6 miles. According to what my body feels like, I would say it's about 6 miles. Definitely have more in our tank, but definitely are fatigued at the same time. So Let's say we're right around that 6 mile range, right around it. But I guess let's get home. Let's meet up with JB. I'm not really hungry because, you know, we just did our cardio, so cardio suppresses the appetite. But we can at least go spend time with them while they eat, you know? You know when I'm laying down, folks? So I guess let's crank old Blue up. Let's enjoy this short ride we have home and go spend a little time with JB after we have gotten in better shape today than we were yesterday, folks. Whew, that was nice. That was a good run. It was much needed. I wished I wouldn't have been being rushed. She wasn't necessarily rushing me. She wasn't like, how long you got? But like, in the back of my mind, I knew I didn't have much time. So I kind of wished I wasn't rushed. I wish I'd have been able to do my 10 miles. But we can leave that for another day. Maybe we'll get up early enough to knock it out before practice one day. Actually, no, I won't, because that's a whole day recovery after you knock out that 10 miles. Let me tell you, maybe we'll do it Friday. We don't have practice till the afternoon. I don't know, folks. Let's crank old Blue up and let's get our butts home. Change out and go grab some lunch with JB. As always, she's cranking like a charm. Well, that was a nice little short ride in old Blue, but on the way home, our guy called us. He was like, hey, bro, you want to play some freaking games? You want to play some games? I'm like, bro, I would love to, but I'm going out to eat with JB, like, right now as we speak. And he's like, oh, dang. He's like, well, I got, like, an hour till I'm home, so, like, you be ready in an hour? I'm like, most likely I will be. So, let's run inside, let's change out, let's pack our bag for later, and then let's run back out of the door, go get some lunch, and then get our butts back home to catch some dubs with the bros. And JB, but she might as well be one of the bros. Alrighty, we are changed out and bag is packed for our next training session, or I guess today our first training session. But luckily, we should be back in the Scion sooner rather than later. Let's make this race with time. Try to go get some lunch and then back home, and enough time to be able to play some games with the guys before, you know, having to go get the kids better today than they were yesterday. What up, babe? So glad to see you. And you're rocking your BillyGoat gear. Oh my goodness. She's always rocking me. Rocking my heart. Well, we haven't made it somewhere to get a bite to eat. And I would not say I'm hungry yet, but I will be hungry so I can eat. I can eat. So let's get in here, and I guess we're gonna grub down a salad. Sounds pretty fire. After a hard run, a salad sounds pretty fire. So I guess let's get in here and get a salad. Well, lunch took entirely too long. Literally every time we come here, it takes entirely too long. And then I ordered the wrong taco because JB was rushing me. But good thing she was rushing me because they took forever to bring it out. We did not get done in enough time. Well, I don't know. We'll see when we get home, but I'm pretty sure we did not get done in enough time to get to the house, to play some games, to catch some dubs before we gotta go get the kids better today than they were yesterday, which really sucks. We're like 20 minutes past the time that the homie said he was gonna be getting on. Yeah. We're 20 minutes behind right now. So I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to, but we will see. We'll see. Let's get our butts home, folks. Well, folks, we have made it home, sadly with not enough time to really get into some games, to really start enjoying them. But with enough time to get inside and close our eyes for a second before we got to get back up to go get these kids better today than they were yesterday. So that's nice. An old sleepyhead over here who just ran inside definitely needs a nap. She fell asleep at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Had to be up at 6. So every like 30 minutes she was waking up to check her phone to make sure she didn't oversleep. So I know she wants to go and take a nap. So that I'm not being a bad influence and persuading her to get up and go and play games, we'll just go take a nap. And then we'll get back up and go get these kids better today than they were yesterday. And we'll just have to catch the games later tonight. So I guess let's get inside and close our eyes for a bit. Well, folks, I guess we did need that nap because it was one terrific flipping nap. It wasn't a long enough nap, but it was a terrific nap. Now we gotta go get these kids better today than they were yesterday. Wish us luck that our ghost eventually kicks on, because I'm still feeling half asleep. Oof. Well, folks, we have made it to the park to get these kids better today than they were yesterday. And last Wednesday, we worked on some snapping, but we worked on snapping from our knees, just so that they could work on the hand placement, hand positioning, all those good things. So I guess today we're gonna pull it up to standing, and we're gonna give them a few options. When we snap, we circle. Then when we snap, we drop to the front head. You got two choices. Pick one and have fun with it. So let's get in here and let's get them better today than they were yesterday, folks. Kids class went absolutely freaking phenomenal. All the kids caught on to the technique. So one, they got better today than they were yesterday. And our class is back into full effect. All of our regulars were back in there. But then again, I can't really blame them. And some new faces, but I can't really blame them because between fights, holidays, and fights, and vacationing, you know. Guess you could blame fights for that one because, we had to go down to Florida to corner a homie. But kids class went amazing, and I can't really blame anyone. So I guess you could say it's been about 3 weeks since we've had a full week of practice, you know what I mean? So I can't really blame anyone for not being there. But all of our regulars are back, and some new faces. And something I really want to shout out is my students. My students, making it a welcoming and a homey environment. Even not having regular jiu-jitsu mats, we still had people who had done jiu-jitsu for years come in today and go, you know, I've done jiu-jitsu for years. And I have to say, this is probably one of the most welcoming, homey environments I have ever been in. And I can't blame myself for that. I can't take the credit for that. That credit is not me. The credit is all to my students. So a big shout out to them for being good humans, being welcoming, being willing to teach, being willing to learn. Because all those things roll together into making a perfect program. There's never going to be a perfect program. It's not possible. It's impossible to have something perfect in such a sport that has so many variants to it. But as long as we are welcoming, we make people feel like they found a new home, there's not much more we can really ask for. The rest of the jiu-jitsu part, the technique part, that's all on me. Not my students. That's not a culture thing. That's a me thing. So as long as they're willing to walk in, learn, be kind to each other, have fun, shoot, there's nothing I can really complain about. Nothing at all. The technique part, that's on me. But the culture, that's on the people we allow into our program. And that right there, that makes me happy. That the people who have done jiu-jitsu before come in and say, I like those people. I like that environment. That feels welcoming. That feels homely. So shout out to my kids. Big shout out to them. Because the technique part, that's on me. That's on me making sure that I'm using my time wisely. That I'm teaching the things that they need to learn for the deficits in which they have in their game. Really, most of everything falls back on the people who we have in our building. Of course, good leadership leads to good culture. But our kids, they 1000% get the credit today. 1000%. So I'd say it was a good class. For the first full week being back, we saw some old faces, we got some new faces, we got some faces we had just recently started seeing, you know. We had a full class. First full week back since the fight. No interruptions in our week. No holidays in the week. And we got a full class. And that, my friends, that makes me happy. And they got better today than they were yesterday, and that's all we can really ask for. And they left a good impression on others. So, proud of my kids. Really proud of them. Now, let's go race the freaking GPS so that we, too, can go get better today than we were yesterday, folks. Well, good news, folks. We have made it to the gym to get better today than we were yesterday. And today is a grinder day. It's one of those days where it's gonna be a lot of lives, a lot of fast-paced positioning, a lot of throwing hands with the home, a lot of sacrificing my body so these joggers can get better. So let's get in here and let's get better today than we were yesterday.
So in this case, my literally took the arm, double off center line, and I need to take him off a little bit more of your pop out because I want my fist to be like my wrist. So I don't want to be punching my own hand. I want it to come right over. So what it looked like is the first we're going to punch your pop. Now, punching in is going to come in.
Well, practice went just fine and dandy. We got some good rounds in, but it's not looking like someone's practice went fine and dandy. They look like they may be having a tough night, folks. Like a tough night, because that is a solid 20-foot drop-off over there. A solid 20-foot drop-off. But now that we've gotten our MMA rounds in, our boxing rounds, our Thai rounds, our pad work rounds, let's run next door, let's get our jits rounds in, let's clean up, and let's get home so that we can hop on the fort, catch some dubs like we had planned on doing earlier today. Well, a partial day of getting better today than we were yesterday. Complete. And I'd say we definitely got better today than we were yesterday. We definitely stayed longer than what we wanted to, but I was being nice and generous and letting everyone shower who had done both of their sessions in today. So now I'm getting out of here a whole lot later than I wanted to, and we got to get home and make some dinner, and this will be a late night before we get on games. Now I'm mad at myself. I should have just been mean and been like, no, I'm taking the shower. But I was generous today, and generosity bit me in the ass. But folks, I'm not gonna get too specific, but if you're not willing to do the little things, how can you ever expect to achieve the big things? I'm just gonna leave it at that. Just leave it at that. I'm not gonna get super detailed about it, but I am gonna say, if you are not willing to do the little things, how can you ever expect to achieve the big things? Let that just jumble in your brain, because well, there's some people in my life who are near and dear to me who seem to think they can skip the little things and expect to achieve greatness. No, if you can't persevere and push through on the baby stuff, how are you ever gonna make it through the stuff that's actually hard, you know? But yeah, folks, a great day of getting better today than we were yesterday, sacrificing our bodies so that the homies can get better today. It was a tough day, that's all I gotta say. Let's get our butts home so that we can hopefully get on the game. Well, folks, after leaving the gym extremely freaking late, it seems as if we made it here in pretty decent time and to catch us a few dubs before calling it a night. After trying all day to be able to catch these dubs. But I guess we should probably loop around to that topic that we were talking about when we left practice. If you're not willing to do the little things, how are you ever going to achieve the big things? You know what I mean? That little blurb that I blurted out there, you know? But think about it. If you're not willing to something as simple as count your calories, let's talk about weight loss. If you're not willing to count your calories, how are you ever going to get the dream body that you want? If you are wanting to be a millionaire and you're not willing to go to school, simple school, like class, you know, how are you ever going to become a millionaire? How are you going to learn to become a millionaire? You gotta learn to learn, you know what I mean? And then say you want to be a fighter, but you're not willing to drill. How are you ever going to be a fighter? I mean, it's really simple, but I figured I would go dive a little bit deeper into that because I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with. A lot of people. It's not just my generation or the generation before me or the generation after me, but a lot of people out there, they want such big dreams, they have such big goals, such big aspirations, but they aren't willing to do the easy things, the simple things, the tedious things. And if you aren't willing to do those, you're never going to be able to reach the pinnacle of whatever it is that you're trying to reach in life. So folks, suffer, make the sacrifices, do the little things so that you can achieve the big things, so you can achieve the greatness in which you dream of. But I guess I'm going to take my butt inside so that we can make some dinner and we can get on these games and we can also get into bed at a decent hour. So, that being said, folks, hope to see you on the stream, and if not, good night, and BillyGoat freaking loves ya.